Evelyn Grant drove into Lakewood under dark, ominous clouds. The town's oppressive atmosphere struck her immediately. Confederate flags waved proudly, and a sense of unwelcome lingered in the air. Entering the sheriff's office, she was met with silence. Deputies stared, exchanging knowing smirks. Sheriff Daniels, a gruff man with a dismissive air, glanced up briefly. "You must be the FBI," he said, his tone dripping with contempt. "Didn't think they'd send someone like you." Evelyn held her ground. Years of facing such comments had taught her to keep her composure. "I'm here about Marcus Fletcher's disappearance. His wife reported threats against him after exposing illegal activities in town." Daniels leaned back, folding his arms. "Fletcher? That troublemaker? Probably skipped out to avoid jail." "Not our concern." Evelyn stared him down, seeing through the lie. This wasn't neglect, it was complicity. Fletcher had uncovered illegal land grabs tied to a construction firm, and now he was gone. That afternoon, Evelyn visited Gloria Fletcher, Marcus's wife. Gloria's trembling hands passed her a thumb drive. He said if something happened to him, this would explain everything. That night in her motel room, Evelyn reviewed the files. Videos and documents painted a chilling picture. Illegal land seizures, intimidation, and a shadowy organization called Obsidian, orchestrating it all. The next morning, as Evelyn drove to confront Daniels, a truck rammed her car off the road. Masked men dragged her out, their fists raining down as they hurled racial slurs. "Stay out of our town, girl. This isn't your fight." Bloodied but defiant, Evelyn lay on the ground as they sprayed "Stay Out" on her windshield. She vowed then and there to bring them all down. Back at FBI headquarters, Evelyn limped through the sleek halls, her injuries a stark contrast to the polished professionalism around her. But the discrimination followed her. Agent Randall smirked. "Tough day, Grant. Maybe you're not cut out for this kind of work." Ignoring him, Evelyn delivered the thumb drive to Director West. She explained Obsidian's role in Fletcher's disappearance, but West dismissed her. "Obsidian? That's conspiracy nonsense. You're chasing shadows. Focus on your assigned cases." Frustrated, Evelyn sought out Beckett, a former cop turned whistleblower. Together, they followed a lead to Fletcher's last known location, an abandoned community center. Inside, Evelyn found overturned furniture and bloodstains. A torn flyer read, "Obsidian Contractors, Building Lakewood's Future." Suddenly, a shadow moved. Evelyn spun as a masked figure bolted into the night. Giving chase, she was cornered in an alley by two men who pinned her against the wall. "You should have stayed home," one snarled. Before they could harm her, Beckett arrived, scattering them. "They're trying to scare you off," Beckett said. Evelyn clenched her fists. Let them try. Evelyn's investigation led to Vincent Castor, a billionaire philanthropist with a sinister reputation. To get closer, Evelyn infiltrated a gala at Castor Industries, posing as a journalist. The room was filled with power players, politicians, CEOs, and military officers, all fawning over Castor. Planting a listening device in Castor's office, Evelyn heard him discuss Phase 2. His words chilled her. "When this is over, they'll thank us for cleaning up their mess. Dissent needs to be destabilized." As Evelyn attempted to leave, Castor approached, his charm masking menace. "Enjoying the party, Miss Grant?" Her phone buzzed with a message. "Your cover's blown. Run, security closed in." Evelyn escaped through the service corridors, narrowly avoiding capture. Captured and taken to a remote compound, Evelyn was at the mercy of Kane, Castor's sadistic enforcer. He mocked her mercilessly. A black woman in the FBI? They must have been desperate. Kane's cruelty knew no bounds. He denied her food, beat her, and hurled slurs, relishing her suffering. "You think you're smart? You're just another statistic." But Evelyn was observant. Over days of torment, she memorized guard rotations and overheard whispers of Phase 2. One night, feigning unconsciousness, she escaped her cell. In a restricted room, she found a map of Obsidian's network. Before she could flee, Kane caught her, dragging her back. "You'll never leave here alive." Evelyn's defiance burned brighter. "We'll see about that." The night was filled with the chaotic sounds of gunfire, explosions, and shouts as Beckett's covert rescue team stormed the compound. Inside, Evelyn sat shackled to a metal chair in the dimly lit interrogation room. Kane loomed over her, his fists bloodied from days of beating her. His cruel smirk twisted into satisfaction as he taunted her. "You thought you could stop us because you've got a badge? You're nothing. Just another black face they'll forget as soon as you're gone." Evelyn met his gaze, unbroken despite the bruises and cuts on her face. "Men like you always underestimate women like me. That's your mistake," Kane sneered, turning to grab a blade from the table. Before he could strike, the compound shook violently as an explosion rocked the facility. Startled, Kane cursed under his breath. What the hell is going on? Taking advantage of his distraction, Evelyn kicked the table with all her strength, sending the blade flying. She yanked at her chains, using the momentum of her chair to knock Kane off balance. He stumbled, and Evelyn seized the moment to grab the blade and cut herself free. Navigating through the facility, Evelyn relied on her photographic memory of the compound's layout to evade guards. She spotted Beckett down the hallway, locked in a firefight with Obsidian operatives. Though wounded, he shouted, "Evelyn, move! I'll cover you!" Instead of fleeing, Evelyn grabbed a discarded weapon and joined him, expertly taking down two guards. Together, they made their way to an exit, but Kane reappeared, blocking their path. Kane lunged at Evelyn, and the two engaged in a brutal hand-to-hand fight. Kane's sheer size and strength gave him the upper hand, but Evelyn used her agility and wits to fight back. She grabbed a broken chair leg, using it as a makeshift weapon to strike his knees and ribs. As Kane staggered, Evelyn delivered a final blow to his temple, knocking him unconscious. Before leaving, she rifled through his pockets and found his encrypted phone. As they escaped into the dense forest surrounding the compound, Evelyn handed the phone to Beckett. "This might have everything we need to stop them." Beckett nodded grimly, but Evelyn's resolve hardened as she whispered, "This isn't over." Evelyn and Beckett regrouped at a safe house where Alex, their tech-savvy ally, worked to decrypt Kane's phone. The air was tense as Evelyn cleaned Beckett's wounds, guilt weighing heavily on her. "You almost died back there," she said softly. "You pulled me out," Beckett replied, wincing. "I'd do the same for you," Alex interrupted, his face pale as he scanned the decrypted messages. "Evelyn, this isn't just a trafficking ring. Kane's phone shows Obsidian's planning sleeper cells across 5 major cities. They're targeting water supplies, power grids, entire infrastructures." The phrase Phase 2 appeared repeatedly in the messages, linked to high-level operatives. Evelyn's determination to act hit a roadblock when Director West publicly declared her a fugitive. West fabricated evidence linking Evelyn to Obsidian, calling her a rogue agent. "He's protecting them," Evelyn said, anger flashing in her eyes. "West isn't just complicit, he's part of Obsidian." Her options dwindling, Evelyn relied on Beckett and Alex to keep moving. But the betrayal stung deeply, reminding her of the systemic racism she'd faced throughout her career. Evelyn infiltrated the Norfolk dockyard under the cover of night. Disguised as a dock worker, she moved through the shadows, her heart pounding as she overheard guards discussing shipments. "The next group leaves at dawn. Buyers are paying extra for kids this time," one guard sneered. Her blood boiled as she made her way to the shipping containers, finding dozens of trafficked individuals locked inside. Among them was Mateo, a terrified young boy whose father had tried to expose Obsidian before disappearing. Evelyn began releasing the captives, her adrenaline spiking when Kane appeared with a squad of heavily armed men. "You really don't know when to quit, do you?" Kane growled. Using a combination of stealth and quick thinking, Evelyn led the captives to safety while setting traps for Kane's men. She activated cranes and forklifts to create barriers, using the chaos to her advantage. In a tense showdown, Evelyn faced Kane once again, this time trapping him inside a shipping container. Before fleeing, Mateo revealed something chilling. They're not just planting bombs. They're planting people. They've already started. Evelyn realized the sleeper cells were more dangerous than she'd imagined. Obsidian was embedding operatives in critical positions across the country. Using the intel gathered from Kane's phone and Mateo's testimony, Evelyn tracked Obsidian's leadership to an abandoned luxury resort in the Nevada desert. The location served as their command center for Phase 2. Evelyn led a small team, including Alex and a few loyal FBI allies, in a high-stakes operation to dismantle Obsidian's leadership. Inside the resort's grand ballroom, Vincent Castor addressed his operatives, exuding charisma and confidence. "This isn't chaos. This is progress. When we're done, they'll beg for our order." Evelyn stormed in, interrupting the meeting. Castor smirked, unbothered. "Agent Grant, how nice of you to join us. You're just in time to witness history." A fierce gunfight erupted as Evelyn's team engaged Obsidian's enforcers. Evelyn confronted Castor in a tense standoff, using her wits to outmaneuver him. Alex live-streamed the confrontation, broadcasting Castor's chilling admissions to millions. As the FBI and public watched in real time, Castor's carefully constructed empire began to crumble. As Castor was arrested, he leaned close to Evelyn and whispered, "You've only cut one head of the Hydra. The others are already growing." Evelyn's actions dismantled Obsidian's operations, exposed Director West's corruption, and sparked a national reckoning. Standing before the press, bruised but unbowed, she declared, "Justice isn't easy, but it's necessary, and I'll fight for it every step of the way." Later, as Evelyn rested in her apartment, her phone buzzed with a message, "We're still watching. This isn't over." She smiled faintly, her resolve unwavering. Evelyn sat in the dimly lit safe house surrounded by Alex and the loyal agents who had risked their careers to support her. On the table before them was a collection of maps, files, and devices recovered during their raid on the resort. Despite Castor's arrest, Obsidian's network remained active, with sleeper cells poised to strike. Alex broke the tense silence. Castor wasn't lying. Obsidian isn't just a single organization, it's a hydra. Cutting off one head only made the others more dangerous. As Alex displayed decrypted files on the monitor, Evelyn saw a chilling pattern. Coordinated attacks were already in motion, targeting vital infrastructure across multiple cities. Water supplies would be poisoned, power grids sabotaged, and public trust shattered. The countdown had begun. Evelyn, despite exhaustion, took command of the operation. She assigned each agent to a specific city, emphasizing the need for precision and secrecy. She would lead the effort in Chicago, where the largest sleeper cell was preparing to attack. Meanwhile, Eleanor, Castor's second-in-command, consolidated Obsidian's fractured leadership. From a remote bunker, she orchestrated a counteroffensive. Her voice carried venom as she addressed her operatives. "Grant thinks she's won. Let's show her what happens when you provoke the Hydra." In the shadows of Chicago, Eleanor activated her sleeper agents, key officials, police officers, and even federal agents tasked with dismantling Evelyn's team. As Evelyn prepared for the raid, Alex's voice crackled through her earpiece. "We've got a problem. One of our own has been compromised." Evelyn froze as Alex revealed that a mole within their group had leaked their plans to Obsidian. Evelyn's team entered Chicago under the cover of darkness, unaware that their movements were being tracked. The mole's betrayal led Obsidian operatives straight to their safe house, ambushing them. Evelyn barely escaped with Alex and Mateo, who had insisted on staying with her after being rescued. In the chaos, one of her loyal agents was captured, leaving Evelyn grappling with guilt and frustration. Using her knowledge of Obsidian's tactics, Evelyn devised a risky plan to flush out the mole. She fed false information to her remaining team, ensuring each agent received a slightly different version of their next move. When Obsidian acted on the planted intel, Evelyn pinpointed the traitor, a young agent named Carter, desperate and blackmailed by Obsidian. Confronting him in a tense showdown, Evelyn offered Carter a chance to redeem himself by helping her locate Eleanor's base of operations. "You've already made one mistake," Evelyn said coldly. "Don't let it be your legacy." Carter hesitated but ultimately gave her the information she needed. Carter's intel led Evelyn to a warehouse where Eleanor was supposedly hiding, but it was a trap. As Evelyn entered, the doors slammed shut and Eleanor's voice echoed through the space. "Welcome to the end of your road, Agent Grant." The warehouse was a labyrinth of dimly lit corridors and traps. Eleanor taunted Evelyn over the intercom, using psychological warfare to unnerve her. "You fought so hard, but for what? A country that will never accept you? A system that uses you until you're broken?" Evelyn's resolve didn't waver. She moved carefully, dismantling traps and outsmarting Obsidian operatives at every turn. Eleanor, confident that Evelyn was cornered, entered the fray herself. The two women faced off in a brutal fight. Eleanor's skill and ruthlessness pushed Evelyn to her limits, but Evelyn's determination gave her the edge. "You think your power makes you untouchable," Evelyn said through gritted teeth. "But you're just another coward hiding behind fear and control." Evelyn incapacitated Eleanor, pinning her down and forcing her to reveal the locations of the remaining sleeper cells. As Evelyn prepared to leave with the intel, Eleanor smirked. "It's already too late. Chicago won't see the sunrise." Evelyn realized Eleanor had activated a device that would release a deadly toxin into the city's water supply. Evelyn raced across Chicago, coordinating with Alex to locate and deactivate the toxin release points. Each location was heavily guarded by Obsidian operatives. In one harrowing sequence, Evelyn faced a standoff with a corrupted city official who held Mateo hostage. Evelyn's sharp negotiation skills and precise shooting saved Mateo, but the ordeal left her shaken. High-stakes action, the final release point was inside a water treatment facility. Evelyn fought through waves of Obsidian enforcers, her physical and mental strength on full display. She reached the control panel just as the countdown hit its final seconds, deactivating the device. As she caught her breath, Alex's voice came through urgently. "Evelyn, there's another target. They've activated Phase 3. Phase 3 was a coordinated cyber attack targeting major cities' communication networks, aiming to plunge the nation into chaos." Evelyn realized this was Obsidian's endgame: complete destabilization. "They're not just attacking infrastructure," she said. "They're trying to rewrite the narrative. If no one can trust information, they control the truth." Evelyn and Alex tracked the attack to a hidden bunker. Inside, they faced Obsidian's last line of defense: elite operatives trained to kill. Evelyn fought with everything she had, using improvised weapons and guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver them. In the control room, she found Castor, freed from custody by his loyalists. He sneered. "You've made this personal, Grant. Now you'll see what happens when you cross me." In a final showdown, Evelyn outsmarted Castor, shutting down the cyber attack and broadcasting his incriminating confessions to the public. As Castor was arrested, he warned Evelyn, "The Hydra never dies, Agent Grant. You've only delayed the inevitable." Epilogue: Justice prevails. Evelyn stood before a crowd, her bruises visible but her spirit unbroken. This fight wasn't just against corruption. It was against the belief that justice has limits. It doesn't. Though Obsidian was dismantled, Evelyn knew the battle for justice was ongoing. Her phone buzzed with a final message: "We're still here." Smiling faintly, Evelyn replied, "So am I." In the days following Castor's arrest, Evelyn returned to Washington, now hailed as a hero by the public. However, the FBI's upper echelon remained divided. While many praised her efforts, others resented the spotlight she had brought to systemic corruption within the agency. Director West's absence loomed large. Whispers circulated that he had disappeared after Evelyn exposed his ties to Obsidian. Evelyn, however, remained focused on tying up loose ends. Evelyn met with families affected by Obsidian's schemes, including Mateo's. Their gratitude reaffirmed her resolve, but the pain in their eyes reminded her that the scars left by Obsidian would take time to heal. During one meeting, Mateo's father revealed a chilling detail. West was more than a puppet. He was one of the architects. Evelyn's suspicions reignited. If West had gone underground, he could still pose a threat. That night, Evelyn received an encrypted message on her personal phone. "You exposed the Hydra, but you didn't kill it. The heart of Obsidian lives. Meet me at the clock tower. Come alone." Evelyn arrived at the clock tower, her heart pounding. She approached cautiously, her firearm drawn. The air was thick with tension. Inside, she found none other than Carter, the mole she had exposed in Chicago. He looked gaunt, his eyes haunted. "You shouldn't have come, Evelyn," he said, his voice trembling. Before Evelyn could respond, the sound of a gun cocking echoed through the room. Director West emerged from the shadows, flanked by two armed men. West revealed that he had been using Obsidian to consolidate power, manipulating crises to position himself as a savior. "You think exposing Castor stopped anything? Obsidian isn't just a network, it's an idea, and I'll rebuild it better than before." Evelyn, ever unflinching, responded, "You're delusional if you think anyone will follow you after this." West smirked. "Follow me? They already do. You'll see soon enough." Suddenly, Carter lunged at one of West's men, creating an opening for Evelyn. A fierce gunfight erupted. Evelyn's sharp reflexes and combat skills allowed her to take down the guards, but West escaped in the chaos. Before fleeing, Carter handed Evelyn a flash drive, whispering, "This is everything. Stop him." Back at Alex's safe house, Evelyn and her team examined the flash drive. It contained detailed plans for a new iteration of Obsidian, one far more insidious. West had expanded the network to include corporate executives, tech moguls, and even foreign operatives. Alex's analysis revealed a shocking discovery. They're planning a global summit in 2 weeks. West intends to unveil his vision for a new world order. Evelyn faced pushback from within the FBI when she proposed a raid on the summit. Many feared the political fallout of exposing such powerful figures. "You're playing with fire, Grant," one superior warned. "Good," Evelyn shot back. "Fire is the only way to kill a Hydra." Disguised as a security consultant, Evelyn infiltrated the summit, held at an opulent estate in Geneva. The room buzzed with power. Politicians, CEOs, and military leaders exchanging hushed conversations. Evelyn planted surveillance devices while observing West, who exuded confidence as he worked the room. During West's keynote speech, Evelyn hacked into the estate's audiovisual system, broadcasting the incriminating files from Carter's flash drive. The room erupted in chaos as attendees realized their conversations and deals had been recorded. West's guards moved to silence Evelyn, but she used her training to outmaneuver them, initiating a chain reaction of panic. As the summit descended into chaos, Evelyn cornered West in a glass-walled office. The storm outside mirrored the intensity inside the office. Evelyn confronted West, who aimed a pistol at her. "Do you really think taking me down will change anything?" West sneered. "People want control. Obsidian gives them that." Evelyn, unfazed, replied. The fight was brutal and personal, with both exchanging blows amidst the rain-soaked room. Evelyn ultimately disarmed West, pinning him down. As sirens blared in the distance, Evelyn delivered a final blow that left West unconscious. West and his associates were arrested, their crimes exposed to the world. Evelyn stood before a Senate committee, detailing the depth of Obsidian's corruption. Despite the challenges, Evelyn's actions sparked systemic reforms within the FBI and beyond. Her story became a symbol of resilience and justice, proving that even the most entrenched systems could be dismantled. As Evelyn walked through the halls of the FBI, colleagues who once dismissed her now nodded in respect. Mateo's family wrote her a letter of thanks, reminding her of the lives she had saved. Her phone buzzed with a message. "You've won this time, but the shadows never rest." Evelyn smiled faintly, her resolve unshaken. "Neither do I." The world was still reeling from the exposure of Obsidian's vast network. Media outlets played Evelyn's broadcasted footage on a loop. West's incriminating speeches, deals, and plans unveiled for all to see. But inside the FBI, the atmosphere was tense. Evelyn returned to a room full of divided agents. Some clapped in quiet respect. Others exchanged skeptical glances. Randall, her longtime detractor, muttered loud enough for her to hear, "Hero of the hour, huh? Let's see how long that lasts." Evelyn ignored him, focusing on the changes she intended to make. She met with Director Avery, who had been appointed to replace West. "Agent Grant, I've reviewed your reports," Avery said, his tone cautious. "You're thorough, and your results are undeniable. But rebuilding this agency means more than catching the bad guys. We need trust," Evelyn straightened. "Trust is earned through accountability. Start by investigating the enablers within these walls." Avery's eyebrows rose, but he nodded. "We'll need your help." Despite her professional success, Evelyn faced personal challenges. Mateo, the boy she had rescued, was still traumatized by his experiences. Evelyn visited him often, helping his family settle into a safe community. One day, as they walked through a park, Mateo asked, "Do you think they'll come back?" Evelyn knelt to his level, her voice steady. "Not if I can help it." That night, Evelyn found a package on her doorstep. Inside was a single black Hydra figurine with a note. "Cut one head and another will rise. Watch your back." The package signaled that Obsidian was far from defeated. Evelyn and Alex dove into the remnants of the network, tracing fragmented communications and financial transactions. Their investigation led to an unexpected discovery. A corporate conglomerate called Aegis International was absorbing Obsidian's assets. Alex's analysis revealed a new leader, codenamed Vanguard, was orchestrating the rebuild. They're smarter now, Alex warned. They're moving in the shadows, using legitimate businesses as cover. In a shadowy boardroom, Vanguard addressed a group of high-ranking executives. Unlike Castor's overt arrogance, Vanguard was calculating, calm, and chillingly rational. Obsidian failed because it underestimated its enemies. This time we operate with precision. No loose ends, no exposure. Evelyn's investigation uncovered Aegis International's involvement in an upcoming humanitarian summit. Alex froze as he deciphered the plans. They're not targeting the summit. They're using it to recruit global leaders. Evelyn and Beckett posed as attendees at the humanitarian summit, held in a sleek skyscraper in New York City. The event was a facade designed to lure world leaders into Vanguard's web. As Evelyn mingled, security cornered her in a stairwell, leading to a tense fight. Evelyn used her agility to evade capture, but the incident left her shaken. Alex's voice came through her earpiece. "Evelyn, you need to leave. Vanguard's personal security is closing in." But Evelyn refused. Not without something concrete. Evelyn hacked into the summit's private network, uncovering a chilling plan to destabilize emerging democracies by sabotaging elections. Vanguard, aware of Evelyn's presence, set a trap. He leaked false intel suggesting that a critical Obsidian safehouse contained evidence of their operations. Evelyn, desperate for leads, took the bait. The safehouse was a death trap, rigged with explosives. Evelyn barely escaped with her life, but the explosion destroyed a nearby residential building, killing several innocent people. Evelyn was devastated. She faced backlash from the media and her own agency, with some accusing her of recklessness. Beckett, however, stood by her. "You didn't plant those bombs, Evelyn. They did, but they want you to feel responsible." Evelyn's resolve hardened. "Then let's make them pay." Alex uncovered a pattern in Vanguard's operations. He's not just rebuilding Obsidian. He's setting the stage for something bigger: global destabilization. Evelyn's team launched a coordinated offensive against Aegis International, targeting their financial networks, hidden facilities, and key operatives. The operation culminated in a raid on Vanguard's headquarters in Dubai. The raid was a cinematic spectacle, with Evelyn leading her team through high-tech security systems, drones, and heavily armed guards. Vanguard watched the chaos from his surveillance room, impressed by Evelyn's tenacity. "She's a problem," he admitted to an associate. "But even problems have solutions." Evelyn confronted Vanguard in his office, where he revealed his ultimate plan: a cyber attack targeting global financial systems designed to erase debt and crash economies. "People don't need freedom, Agent Grant. They need order, and I'll give it to them." Before Evelyn could apprehend Vanguard, he activated the cyber attack, setting the world on the brink of collapse. Evelyn and Alex worked frantically to counter the cyber attack, racing against the clock as financial systems across the globe began to shut down. The tension was palpable as Evelyn infiltrated Vanguard's server room, fighting off guards while Alex guided her through disarming the attack. Evelyn's determination and Alex's brilliance saved the day, but Vanguard escaped in the chaos, leaving a haunting message behind: "You've delayed the inevitable, not stopped it." Back in Washington, Evelyn was celebrated as a hero, but she knew the fight wasn't over. Obsidian's remnants would continue to evolve, and Vanguard was still out there. As Evelyn walked through the FBI's halls, she reflected on the journey. Despite the racism and sexism she had faced, she had proven her worth. She stood as a symbol of justice and resilience, representing women of all backgrounds who refused to back down. Her phone buzzed with a final message: "The Hydra will always grow back." Evelyn replied with a smirk: "So will I." A month after the raid on Dubai, Evelyn worked tirelessly to track Vanguard's movements. Reports of economic disruptions and assassinations linked to Obsidian remnants began surfacing. One night, while reviewing intel with Alex, a sudden blackout engulfed their safe house. Before they could react, explosions rocked the building. Evelyn and Alex scrambled to escape as masked operatives stormed in, their assault rifles cutting through the darkness. Using quick thinking, Evelyn led Alex through the labyrinthine corridors of the safe house. Armed only with her sidearm and wits, she disarmed one attacker and used his weapon to hold off the rest. Outside, they found Beckett waiting with a getaway car. "They're not just hunting you anymore," Beckett said as they sped away. "They want the whole team gone." As they regrouped in a secondary location, Alex revealed that the attack wasn't random. It had been coordinated using a hidden tracker planted during the Dubai raid. Evelyn stared at the device, realizing Vanguard's warning had been literal. "I'll always know where you are." Evelyn decided it was time to go on the offensive. The team devised a plan to lure Vanguard into the open by exploiting his need for control. Using the media, Evelyn leaked false information about a supposed government crackdown on Obsidian assets. Vanguard, furious, ordered his operatives to retaliate. Evelyn monitored their movements, tracing them back to a private island where Vanguard was consolidating his remaining forces. "This is our chance," Evelyn said. "If we can corner him here, we can finish this." Evelyn assembled a strike team, including Beckett and Alex, for an all-out assault on the island. As they prepared, Evelyn shared a moment of vulnerability with Beckett. "If this goes wrong, I need you to promise me something," she said, her voice steady but soft. "Make sure Obsidian doesn't survive me." Beckett placed a hand on her shoulder. "We're walking out of this together, Evelyn." As they approached the island, Evelyn received a message on her encrypted phone. "Welcome to the end game, Agent Grant." The assault on the island began under the cover of darkness. Evelyn and her team infiltrated the compound, using the element of surprise to dismantle Vanguard's defenses. Inside, they discovered horrifying evidence of Obsidian's operations: lists of officials on payroll, blueprints for future attacks, and dossiers on whistleblowers marked for assassination. Evelyn confronted Vanguard in a massive control room filled with monitors displaying global economic data. "You've lost, Vanguard," Evelyn said, her gun trained on him. "Lost?" Vanguard sneered. "You think this ends with me? I've built a system that thrives on chaos. Kill me, and someone else will take my place." Vanguard activated a failsafe, setting the island's facilities to self-destruct. "If I go down, I'm taking you with me." In a race against time, Evelyn fought off Vanguard's guards while Alex worked to disable the failsafe. Beckett engaged Vanguard in a brutal hand-to-hand fight, but it was Evelyn. As they escaped the island, Alex revealed a chilling discovery. Vanguard had already transferred control of Obsidian's assets to a hidden network. The Hydra wasn't just surviving, it was evolving. Back in Washington, Evelyn testified before a global tribunal, presenting the evidence her team had uncovered. World leaders vowed to crack down on corruption, inspired by her relentless pursuit of justice. Despite the progress, Evelyn knew the fight was far from over. Sitting in her office, she reflected on the cost of her mission, the lives lost, the sacrifices made. Mateo visited Evelyn, now more confident and hopeful. He gave her a drawing he had made, a hydra with its head severed, a small figure standing triumphant above it. "You're my hero," Mateo said. Evelyn's eyes softened. "You're the brave one, Mateo." As Evelyn walked out of the building, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "The Hydra always regrows. See you soon." Evelyn smirked, her resolve unbroken. "I'll be ready." Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please support me by clicking the logo in the bottom right corner to subscribe to my channel. This way you won't miss any of the exciting stories coming up. Thank you so much.